Members of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force have launched a homicide investigation following a fatal incident on Jeremie Street, Castries, on Saturday, June 1st. At approximately 9:23 p.m., authorities received a report detailing a violent altercation between a male and a female at a local bar. Initial police reports indicate that the female suspect allegedly stabbed the male victim, identified as Caleb Sidney, in response to a physical assault. Jahmal Faucher, a friend of the deceased and an acquaintance of both parties, provided our news team with a detailed account of the tragic events that unfolded.
It was more or less a case of domestic violence. You know, we had a gentleman who was friendly to a lady, and they've been together for a very long time. So it struck all of us as you know, we still trying to understand why that happened, but it happened nonetheless. You know, all of us are saddened about this. You know, we lost a friend. You know, he was a brother to all of us, but you know, like everybody else, he had his ways. He wasn't perfect, you know. He was a little bit aggressive in many ways, you know, quarreling, fighting with his girlfriend, and then I guess that day we all left. You know, we were all in the party together, and we left. And when we came back, you know, the girl was there bleeding, her head was burst, her hand was twisted, her leg was bleeding, you know, and we asking her what happened to her, and then the guy was just there lying down on the ground, bleeding, and then she was trying to assist him on the ground.
Jahmal goes further to detail a sequence of alleged violent acts between both suspect and victim, which unfortunately resulted in the loss of life.
Apparently the guy waited for the place to clear when the bar was closed and everybody closed. Everybody went by Dax, who went by Dax, who went by the CDC, and then he did that, and everybody was like, they like to the accent, they said, why would he do something like that? But clearly he was under the influence of alcohol. You know, he got a bench. I think he hit her with a bench on her head several times. She fell on the ground. He was kicking her on the ground, and apparently she had a little knife in a side bag. She had a little pouch, and she ended up brandished the knife and ended up retaliated in that way. But with all due respect, you know, I personally believe it wasn't her fault. You know, she was literally aggravated and she was provoked to that action. She didn't intentionally set out to kill the man, but somebody died. Nonetheless, we lost someone.
Faucher hopes for leniency with the upcoming prosecution, as he believes that the suspect acted in defense during an allegedly brutal altercation.
But we have to remember, sometimes the people we love the most will hurt us the most. So, you know, we have to realize the dangers early and try and walk away from the violent aspect of the life, you know, because the truth is violence isn't solving any problem in itself, because look, she did that. Yes, she defended her life, but the man died. And it's a matter of the law now. The law have taken up the matter. And I'm confident that the law will seek justice in this matter, you know, and will be somewhat lenient towards her, because, you know, this is not just a case of one woman. This is a case of all women going through something like that, you know, in a sense that we're in an age of women's liberation. And I personally not promoting violence towards women. And the company I keep, you know, the Rastafari family and them, they do promote violence towards women. And the individual who got killed, you know, he was one of them among us. He knew what we stood for. You know, he defended her on many occasions. That day, you know, the alcohol got the better of him, the party got the better of him. In our absence, he made that mistake of beating the young lady.
Jahmal Faucher expressed his empathy not only for the family of the deceased, but also for the family and children of the female suspect. He noted that she was the sole provider of her children and fears that they will bear the brunt of this tragic incident. Faucher believes that the consequences of this unfortunate event will deeply impact the lives of those who depended on her for their daily needs. For Choice News Now, this is Obi Offor reporting.